Jesus and the Book of Revelation. We're continuing the study entitled Preparation for the End Time, focusing on the essence of what we are awaiting for and trying to filter out the distortion when the focus is shifted away from the real center, which is Jesus Christ and his work to get us home.
Is there a correlation between the book of Revelation and Jesus Christ? What a question is that? Of course there is. The first verse from the first chapter says, "This is the revelation from Jesus Christ which God gave him to show his servants what must soon take place." So, what do we find there? Is the object of our short study this week.
From the Old Testament through the New One to Revelation, it all has one purpose: to help us meet God, to learn what he has done for us, what he is doing for us, and how we can be reunited with him. We could pick beasts, catastrophes, and mysticism from the book of Revelation, but this is not what it's about.
We find in Revelation a very well engineered structure. Without it, it's not much of a revelation, because all that we will discover there is historical stories from the past that will unfold in future end time events. In other words, the message that we find in the book of Revelation had its meaning directed to the first century church. However, it's also paralleled with the end time happenings.
The lessons that we learn from history is that we never learn from history. The lesson cites that, but then points that we could do better. And one way that God is trying to help us understand certain things is through the things that we have experienced and have already happened. History and eschatology go hand in hand, and they complement each other. Revelation about future events is not so much meant to predict as much as to help us understand the meaning of these events. Why are certain things happening, and where is it all leading? Books like Daniel and Revelation have this baked into their structure. Revelation chapter 1 to 11 is pretty much historical. 13 to 22 is mostly eschatological, and chapter 12, well, it's a bit of both.
What else do we find in the book of Revelation about Jesus? He is depicted the same way as we know it from the Gospels, how the Gospels describes him. Many names are used to pinpoint on his roles and functions. Names like the Lamb, the faithful witness, firstborn from the dead, the living one, the Alpha and Omega, all connect Jesus and his mission with what we know it already from the Gospels and the letters from the Apostles.
Jesus is the link that runs through the book, and is also the center of it. There is another motive that runs through the book of Revelation other than the historical and eschatological division. This motive brings much more depth to understand what is exactly happening and what is Jesus doing.
Something else we find in the book of Revelation is that Jesus continues to be very active. He has not finished his mission with his earthly dealings only. Right from chapter 1, we find a language and an imagery that only one Jew would have understood, because it is strongly connected with the Old Testament sanctuary, represented by the temple in Jesus' time. John, the writer of the Revelation of Jesus, is startled by a voice that is speaking to him from behind. And this is happening in a vision. He turns back and he sees someone like a son of man, dressed in a robe that reaches down to his feet and with a golden sash around his chest. And all this is happening in the midst of the 7 golden lampstands. So we better know how the sanctuary functioned if we want to know how Jesus' dealings in heaven.
For John and every Israelite at the time, the past, the present, and the future were all signified by the experience with the temple. Every ceremony and every symbol in the sanctuary were an enriched experience meant to reveal our need for a Savior. And it was all pointing to Jesus.
The book of Revelation is all about Jesus being in the midst of everything that is about to happen in the chapters that follow. However, there is one loud message right from the beginning. Look, he is coming in the clouds, and every eye will see him. The same message is urged at the end of the book, chapter 22, with Jesus' own words. Look, I'm coming soon, and blessed is the one who keeps the words of the prophecy written in this scroll. Look, I'm coming soon, and my reward is with me. So let's keep Jesus close by when we talk about the end time events, and he will keep us humble in our knowledge and understanding of the truth.
In Revelation, we see Jesus as the ruler of the kings and the King of kings. He is the one that redeems us, justifies us, and sanctifies us. He is the one who takes us away from our misery and is transforming us to the people that we can be, made by his image. We see him returning, and we see him as the one who conquered death. Through him, we are offered life without limits and without suffering. It's a rich imagery in Revelation, but it's mostly about the greatest happy ending and a new beginning of the most moving story ever experienced. The study continues next week with salvation and the end times.